How's that Lynnwood housing market? I am so glad you asked. Home prices in Lynnwood are up again, but there's a shift that's happening that we aren't talking about. And I know that you are thinking about making a move soon. So, what I want to share with you today is to help you avoid a costly mistake and to set you up for a smarter sale. So, let's start with a big question you might be asking. What is my home actually worth right now? As of April, the median resale home price in Lynnwood is coming in at $830,000. So yes, values are still strong, and that's great news if you're thinking about selling. To give you more perspective, the median in Snohomish County overall is $785,000, and King County is way higher at $1,040,000. And nationally, we're looking at $432,000. So, in the Puget Sound area, Lynnwood is right in that sweet spot, attracting buyers with it still being more affordable than Seattle, but not too terrible for commuting to the east side or Seattle compared to some of our neighboring cities. Now, that number, 830,000, is a median. Not every home is worth that much, but it does tell us that buyers are still paying strong prices, especially for homes that show well. Now, let's talk about the playing field, because even if pricing looks strong, how much competition you have can make a big difference in your outcome. This April, we saw 80 new listings in Lynnwood, just 33 new listings at the same time last year. We had 66 homes actively up for sale compared to only 21 last April. So inventory is quietly more than doubled. And at the same time, pending sales are basically flat, 53 this year compared to 50 last year. So while more homes are coming to the market, buyer demand isn't necessarily keeping up. But here's what makes this market tricky. Homes are still moving pretty quick. 5 days on market is kind of the average. So that tells us that buyers are still active, but they are being very selective. They're watching the market closely and only acting on homes that are priced right and feel move-in ready, or maybe a home that they can get a good deal on. This kind of market is almost like the illusion of a seller's market. Homes that are priced just right move quick. But the ones that are a little bit higher, that have missed the mark on pricing or maybe prep, they're sitting. And sellers are in a position that they often have to adjust their price or offer concessions or both to get under contract. Now, a lot of sellers look at that 830,000 price and think, great, I'm going to list high and cash in. And I get it. On paper, those numbers look super strong. In fact, Lynnwood Homes actually received 100% of their list price on average last month. But here's the thing that most people don't realize. Those stats do not always tell the full story. Just because a home closed at the asking price doesn't mean that the seller actually walked away with everything that they expected or hoped for. Behind the scenes, many of these sales included what's called seller concessions. This is money that the seller actually gives back to the buyer at closing as part of the deal. That can cover closing costs, inspection repairs, even help with the buyer's agent compensation, depending how things were actually structured in that offer. So while you might be seeing your neighbor's house closing and receive what they asked for, they might not have actually received all of that. They could have received a lot lower. So that's why strategy really matters and why having the right advisor can help protect your bottom line.
Let's talk about buyer behavior, which has changed a lot since 2021 in the peak of the housing market. From how many showings we're seeing to how quickly offers are coming in, everything is tied to one big factor: mortgage rates. In 2021, the rates were 2.75 to the low threes, which meant more buyers could afford to act fast and compete. Homes were getting 20 to 30 showings in a weekend, and offers came in almost immediately. Now, with the rates in the high sixes to low sevens, that buyer pool has thinned out. In Lynnwood, homes are now averaging 7 showings total, and it's taking about 8 showings to receive an offer and go under contract. Buyers are more payment conscious and value driven. They are still out there, but they're just not quite rushing in. Buyers want a deal now. And this is where sellers can get caught off guard. Your house goes live and maybe it's quiet, crickets. But here's the thing, today's buyers are looking for a deal. That's why it's absolutely crucial to time your market entry strategically based on what's actually happening right now. So, how do we do that for you and your home? Whether you're super organized and ready to make a move, or you don't even know where to begin, but you know that something needs to change. Or maybe you'd like to position your investment in the best way possible, but you just don't have the ideas or maybe the means to do that. There's solutions for everything. Call or text me and we'll set up a time to talk through your goals. Together we'll create a tailored plan that fits your timeline and your needs so you can move forward with clarity, confidence, and be in a position to win. You, your home, and your story are unique. And when it's time to turn that page, you deserve more than a one-size-fits-all plan. You need someone who understands the process, truly cares, and has actually walked through some of life's tougher transitions too. Whether you're ready now or just starting to think about what's next, it's never too early or too late to start planning. Call or text me anytime, and I look forward to chatting with you. I'll see you in the next one.